Alright, and welcome to the latest episode of Memoirs of a Pup. And in this episode of Memoirs of a Pup, as I leave you with just the background screen, whilst I jibber jabber on, two of the figures I didn't actually have as a child. In fact, they kind of didn't even come out when I was a child. I was a teenager. Is that still classed as a child? Kind of. I kind of still class myself as somewhat childlike now, mainly just because I can't walk. I have to crawl around the floor. What? Why do you say these things? I don't know. Anyway. So yes, two of these figures I didn't actually see in the flesh until quite later on in my life. And them being, this one, first of all, is Tusk. And this guy was from the 1990s X-Men kind of cartoon stroke comic book kind of series figure line. And I never actually got to see this guy. I do remember kind of always looking on the back of the packets and stuff now. I mean, these came out like 92, 93, so I was probably like, 14 or something like that when these came out, maybe 13. So I was kind of like, pretty much should have been kind of not playing with toys, but, you know, I still do now, so I guess I was right all along. See, all them people saying, oh, you'll regret that. Well, not really, because I still love it, so stick that up your bum. Anyway, Tusk. And I remember kind of looking at them on the back of the packet, which I would have shown you the back of the packet, but I only had like 6 minutes or something to kind of get into the loft, to grab something, to get out of the loft without falling down the stairs, stairs.
You've never been in the loft and come back within 6 minutes.
It was pretty close to 6 minutes.
Should have been gone for ages.
Anyway,
Every time.
I had to be quick. So I grabbed Tusk because of the Memwars. And he always looked really, really cool in the back of the packet. Now, I did actually used to work with a guy who didn't look very dissimilar to this guy. Only the guy I worked with was a lot more evil looking. And he's pretty decent figure. I mean, he's a really kind of just, you know, kind of like, you look at him and you kind of think, wow, look at the, wow, impact, you know. Obviously, articulation-wise, he has 4 points, which, I mean, that's kind of really bad, but, you know, I guess for this kind of a beefy dude, that kind of does him, really. I really would like to see a modern version, although I think it would probably make him too lean, I think. Anyway, I'll show you his action feature, which in the picture always looked really cool. You pull back his back, his humped back, and you push up the lever, and out pops his little friend. Now, apparently his mutant ability, because all of the card backs came with like the little bio about the figure, or the character I should say, which is pretty cool, because most of these, for all I did like comic books and did read them, I only really picked up the ones that were like dirt cheap, like in the 20 pence section. So you got like ROM and West Coast Adventures and Man. So these guys didn't really obviously turn up in those comics, but it did have a little bio on each one, so you could kind of then use that and then kind of influence your games with like, oh well, this one's got the power to absorb other people's powers. Ooh, this guy must be pretty cool, and we'll make him a really cool character. It's Gideon. Who? I don't know, but he's got a pretty cool ponytail. Anyway, I digress again. So here's supposed to be a mini me. Stop humping the laser. I love Austin Powers. And apparently he can like generate mini versions of himself, kind of thing, which is handy if you've got kind of lots of washing up to do. But yes, so I always liked the look of that guy, and it was nice to pick him up when I kind of went through a Toy Biz 90s Marvel kind of binge around about 7 years ago now. To believe I was picking them up for like £2 a pop, including posters as well, you know. And whilst I was getting them, obviously I thought, well, hell, I'm going to have myself a Daredevil. Yes, that's right, Daredevil here, the man without fear. The man without the sense of touch. It's Deadpool, obviously, unless you listen to me, in which case that would make you pretty great in my book. And I don't know, kind of like, I want to like this guy more than I actually do, because they've done him, obviously, it was the second Deadpool they released, but they kind of totally, like, they made him incredibly much more bigger and chunkier. But then they kind of give him a battle damaged feature as well. Well, not feature, but they just basically dragged him through a hedge backwards and made him an unmaskable character, which, you know, I do like an unmaskable character, like, to be fair. Only trouble is sometimes they do suffer from kind of pea-headness, so you kind of got this little shriveled peanut for Deadpool's head, and his little mascara, or guyliner. All the cool kids call it guyliner, don't they? And finally, what time is it? What time is it, Mr. Wolf? It's time to shut up. Here is Exodus. Now, this guy I actually did see in the flesh, and I kept not picking him up. For all he looked like a decent sculpt, and he'd had... I always kind of liked interesting hands on toys, and this guy kind of had a few interesting hands going on, where you kind of got the Captain Picard kind of, make it so, kind of pointy finger, and then a kind of... You could use that as a fist, or to pick up a pint of beer, or to choke somebody, or, you know, that kind of hand as well. But I kind of couldn't get around the fact that there were supposed to be wings, and he's supposed to be some kind of angel. I mean, this guy wouldn't look out of place. Thank you. Thanks for nobody there. God, just left to my own devices. Like, right, you just drowned it out, do you? Like a washing machine or something, you know. There's a pneumatic drill, or is that my husband crying for help? Anyway, and he has a wing thingy feature, and you pull his arm to make them flap. So the fact that I finally got him is pretty nice as well. So there you go. I guess that was that Memwars. I guess, yeah, kind of. It was kind of Memwars. Why not? So there you go. Thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned for more Memwars of a Pup.